equations, and we've learned how to solve them by factoring and how to solve them by using the quadratic formula. Today we're going to take a look at some quadratic word problems. We're going to break them up into two parts. So today is part one. So first of all, the steps that you want to use to solve these problems: create a diagram or make a let statement. Second step is to create a quadratic equation. Then we want to factor or use the formula to solve that equation, and then include a therefore statement at the end. So it's very similar to work we've done before. The only difference is that now we are solving quadratic equations instead of finding maximum or minimum like we did in some of the other word problems. Okay, so in this one, the length of a rectangle is 5 centimeters more than the width. The area is 150 centimeters squared. Determine the dimensions of the rectangle. So whenever we can draw a diagram, we should. I'm going to draw a rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that one certainly isn't. Okay, so there's my rectangle. Now it says the length of a rectangle is 5 centimeters more than the width. I'm going to use, so I'm going to say let x be the width. Now I would encourage you, when you're going to assign a variable to one of the dimensions, choose the dimension that is at the end of this sentence, because the other dimension is related to that x in some way. And it's going to be easier if we do that. So if I make x my width, so let x be the width, that means that in my diagram, this side is going to be x. And here it says that the length is 5 centimeters more than the width. So if we just said that the width was x, then that means that the length is going to be 5 more than that, so that's going to be x plus 5 there. I don't need to write a let statement over here for the length. I've already got it in the diagram here, so diagrams with the expressions in them are as good as the let statements. All right. The other piece of information that I have here is that the area of this rectangle is 150 centimeters squared. So this statement here helps me come up with the equation that I'm going to be working with. Okay? So I'm talking about the area of a rectangle. So the area of a rectangle is length times width. So that means I'm going to be multiplying these two expressions for the area. So area is equal. So I'll put the x at the start so I can write it like that. And the other part that I have to put in the equation is the 150 here. So it's going to end up looking like 150 equals, because 150 is the area. And now, similar to what I did in the other questions with maximum and minimum, I need to expand this. So I'm going to get x squared plus 5x. And as I found in the quadratic equations that I've been working with, I want to move everything over to one side and make it equal to 0. So I'm going to move the 150 over, and it's going to change to minus 150. Now I'm going to show you how you can use factoring and the quadratic formula here, and show you that it doesn't matter which method you choose to use. So if I was going to factor this, so if I had 0 equals x squared plus 5x minus 150, I'm trying to find two numbers that multiply to give that negative 150 that's on the end, and they have to add to give 5 in the middle. So the two numbers that are going to work for me here 10, because they all multiply to give negative 150, and they add to give positive 5. So that means that in my quadratic equation here, I can write x plus 15 and x minus 10. And then once I get here, I can write x plus 15 equals 0, or x minus 10 equals 0. So that means that x is equal to negative 15, or x is equal to 10. Now in this case, we're talking about x representing the width. So when we look at our two answers here, x minus 15 is not possible. Okay, so I can just cross that out. Now let's see what happens on the other side here when I use the quadratic formula. So for the quadratic formula, I'll just make a list here. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 5, and C is equal to negative 150. So I'll write down my quadratic formula. I'll start plugging things in. So minus B is going to be minus 5, plus or minus, and then 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 150, and that's all over 2 times 1. And underneath the root sign, I'm going to get 625. Just move it down here. So I end up with x equals minus 5 plus 25 over 2, or x equals minus 5 minus 25 over 2. Okay, because our square root of 625 is just 25. So that means that my two possible answers here are 10 or negative 15. So you can see that we got the exact same answers for x using the quadratic formula as we did for factoring. So whichever method you choose to use there should work for you. So at the end here, they asked us determine the dimensions of the rectangle. So the dimensions are x and x plus 5. So if x is equal to 10, therefore the dimensions are 10 centimeters would be the width by 15 centimeters, which is the length. Okay? Now, I'm going to leave the next question for us to do tomorrow in class. Okay? Thanks.